Right, so this tree is a Desojo maple. It's one of the bigger trees in my collection. At the moment, this is 2 feet tall from the rim of the pot, and it extends to 4 feet across. So that's 60 centimeters tall by 120 centimeters wide. There's a story to this tree. It's been in the wars for the last couple of years. About 3 years ago, I left it in the care of somebody while I was away for a few days. Unfortunately, we had a very hot few days while I was away, and some of the trees in the collection didn't get enough water. This was one of them. It suffered quite badly. It nearly died at one stage. It lost quite a lot of its leaf mass. I'll show you around the other side. It's lost a couple of very large branches. This one here was a really nice big branch. This one I broke off this morning when I was putting it on the table because it's so heavy. This branch used to live there. That's where it came out from. So you can see I've managed to regrow a new branch in its virtually the same position. So basically the last 2.5 years it's been in recovery. It used to be in a much shallower pot than this. It only used to be in a pot probably about 1.5 inches deep. It was smaller in length as well, but I potted it up into this big pot just to try and grow a load more root and to put some vigour into the tree. You can see probably at the top here, one piece of wire was left on for far too long. It's really scarred that top of that tree. I'll have to own up to that. That was my mistake, but that's really badly scarred. So as you can see, it's lost a few branches over the years. There's a big one here, another one here. Again, when I was putting it on the bench this morning, I managed to break this branch. So I've wrapped it with some self-amalgamating tape. That should hopefully glue it back together. Same thing has happened on this branch, but this happened a couple of years ago probably. So that's more than ready to come off of there. So all I've done with this tree really in the last couple of years is just to feed it and let it do whatever it's wanted to do. So as you can see, it's put on large amounts of growth, very long extensions. So what I've got at the moment, we've got these very large, well-growing stems, and we've got these very tiny, weedy little ones which were originally on the tree. The ramification of this tree was really good, but I say it's suffered a bit because of the damage that it suffered. Certainly one way of learning who you can trust and who you can't trust when you leave trees with people, but there you go. So what I'm going to do is give it a drastic haircut, take all the long growth back, and try and decipher where the tree's going to go from here. It's probably going to be a fairly long video. Might have to cut it into 2 halves or so, we'll see. But first thing I'm going to do is neaten up where the branch came off of here. Just get that out of the way. That's better. That. So I'm going to just quickly go round. I'll take off all the extensions and leave the first set of buds that I can see, and then we'll decide what we're going to do with the remaining that's left. nothing too scientific, it's just hack it back basically to the first set of buds everywhere on the tree. And once we've got to that stage, you can then go in and do a bit of refining, see what you can produce. I'm not expecting this tree to look perfect straight away. It's going to be another 2 or 3 years probably to get it back to what it was. The main thing is I actually stopped it from dying. It's been in my collection for a long time, this tree. It's one of my favourites, it's one of the biggest ones I've got. But it's always the way, if anything's going to go, it's going to be the one that you put the most effort into, or the one you like the most. So just going to keep on going, chopping this back. There's lots of growth going in towards the middle of the tree. Don't want any of that. So we're just going to take off all this extraneous growth basically. Probably last year I should have trimmed it a little bit more than I did in hindsight, but again I was just wanting it to recover and put on as much growth as it could, hence the mess that we see here today. Take that dead stubs as I see them as well, just to clear the profile, just to help with what we're doing.
Come back into this little section here. These two branches have flown into each other. Don't want to lose it if I can help it. So what I might try and do is just stretch them out, put a piece of bamboo between them perhaps, just to wedge them open. Try and move them, because where you can see the changing colour of the branch from this dark to the red. Obviously the dark has set over the last 2 years, 3 years, and the red is last year's growth. Just don't want to split it at the junction there, so I have to be a little bit careful with that. We'll come back to it. want to simplify the silhouette basically. It's just trying to think what's the best for that. I'll leave that for now. I'll think about that. Oops. Just drop the cutters on the floor, that's good. Right, okay. Quite a bit of dead there. Really thin branch can come off. So what I'm hoping is, where I'm cutting it here, that it's going to force the energy back to the V there and give me a couple of extra buds. Even better if it buds back to there. Further back it buds the better, gives me far more options. So, that one is coming straight down from the branch, so that can come off. It's never going to be part of any design. Same with this one, that can come off. There's one inside there that I can just see that can come off as well. We've got a couple of dead branches on this side branch. What else have we got on there? So that's back to there. Even though these are crossing over the wall, I'm just going to leave them at the moment. I can always bring that round, but it's just a case of thinning out this massive foliage and making some sort of sense as to where we can go with the design. Luckily there's lots to choose from at the moment. So this initial spiraling, it may end up that I just go round, take
here we've got one going straight up. Take that off. We've got that thicker branch there than the others. We'll get rid of that and just simplify that area. Some of these branches are looking dead, but we've got buds at the end, so just do that for now. Right, so that's actually, we'll take that off and we'll quite fill it on that one. Take the middle section of that out. And take that long one out. Right, so this one's going backwards into the tree, so that can come right off at the junction there. Let's try that one now while we're looking at it. So that branch is doing the same, so that's going backwards towards the trunk. Take those off. Not going to be much left on this one by the time I've finished. Got the side picture of those branches we're going to need. The one at the back is probably not needed. Got those there. Just going to show you. So that might be. I think I might have to bring that round a little bit. That's definitely going to grow underneath that clump there. So I've either got to shorten it right back, or even cut it right off to there and let this grow out. That'll be a decision for a bit later. Just get that one out of the way. So that is a bit thick for the rest of the branches in that area, so that can come out. Take that off. Do that for now. Yes, that one's coming right through from there. That's too small and insignificant. That one's right underneath, that can come out. Right, so we've got some strong growth there, so that middle one. off the stub. Try knob cutters in there. It's better. Right, so what's the next? Right, so I've got a very strong branch here. Coming straight up. Let's just get that out of the way for a moment. So we've got, off of this main branch here, we've got this very strong one splitting straight up. Where we've also got these two coming out to the side. So I'm thinking we take that off the top of there. And what I'm going to try and do as well at some stage is to just bring the branch down slightly. It's going to be a tricky one because of the lignification in the branch already. It's already gone hard, and we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 4 of the branches which are starting to go upwards into the air and space. So again, this one, the end of it needs to come down slightly. That one's okay. This one is going up into the air, same with the one at the back there. They're both going up too much really, they need to come down. This is the worst one, it's always had an upward trend. Drastic, if we chopped all of that off, that would be a drastic one, but then it would bring in this lovely downward swoop. I'm going to refine that at some stage, chop it back. Probably won't do that today. Let's just carry on getting some of the length out of it. Right, so in there we've got a couple of branches which will eventually cross this one. Might be an option to bring that one around a bit so those can develop, or I'll just get rid of them now. Let's get rid of the small one. I'll leave that one for the moment. I can decide on that one later. There's a dead stub that can come out. Right, so that's making its way back into the tree. Right, so we've got a very strong branch there with this one at the back, being a little bit less vigorous. Let's take that off. This one's coming right the way back from there. Let's get rid of that for the moment. Right, what should we do with that one? Let's get that out of the way first, because that's distracting. Just top those out. Right, so this one is set far too much to bend, so we've got this upward from this angle here. This one, you're not going to be able to bend that. It's too rigid. So if I try and bend that, it's not going to work. So I'm thinking if I take that out, I've got this thinner one which will be able to bend. Yeah, he's still good enough. So I'll take that off there. That will allow me to bring that around. Okay, so I'm going to take that one off as well because that's a bit strong. Right, because I've made a fairly large wound there, I'm going to just quickly cover that with some black balsam. Okay, I'll go around and do all the others at a later stage, but at the moment this tree isn't weeping sap, so I can get away with it. It's also the time of the day, the sun's starting to go down. It's lost a lot of its heat from earlier on today, so it's not going to dry out the tree as quick as it would have done this morning. So I've got a little bit more leeway in time to do what I need. It can be bent that way. Keep that dead. It's too long. Right, so this one here we've got almost like a double nub here, where that branch has obviously been pruned back before, this has been pruned back before. We now do that with like, almost like a figure of 8 where we've got 2 round knobs. I don't like the look of that, so because this one's coming back into the tree, I'm going to take that one off and I'm going to get in there. Actually, that might be better with the knob cutter. Just take that half off first. So that's it. And then this one, and I'll nip it between the two. Right, that's better. That's made a bit of taper on that branch, where before it's just an ugly bubble, basically. Just take one more little bit off the top there. And then we've got this one here as well, which is similar. And just trim that. Get some sealant on it. There. Right, where do we go next? Let's have a look. There's an ugly dead piece there that can come off. Put a piece in there. Perfect. I'll take that dominant stem out of there, so we end up with 2 on. That will get twisted horizontally eventually.